Okay, so tonight we're going to talk about, so group 1 is wrapping up this week with their first 4 weeks of the gut protocol, and they have some decisions to make because they have to decide, are they going to stay on the gut protocol? Are they going to introduce new foods? And are they going to go to an eating plan after the gut protocol? So, TV mindset, or portion fix, or are they just going to kind of throw caution to the wind and eat how they want to eat now that they're done with the gut protocol? Because there's really an infinity of options with this one. So we're going to talk about all that tonight, all those different pathways. And then next week, when group number 2 is in their prep week, we are going to go back to square one, and we're going to talk about getting started. And I think it'll be great too, since many of us have gone through this first round, to talk about what they learned, right? Like what they learned through it that would help people getting started in the prep, in the, food choices, all of those things. So we'll do that next week when we're in the prep week and have all of our new people started in the group. So we were just discussing, things that we are thinking about adding back in, things you miss, kind of how that has been playing out. I have missed my coffee greatly. I told Sue this is my 4th cup this week, so I'm just laying it out there. I've kind of, if that's pretty much where I messed up in my meal plan. I'm like, this is my 4th coffee and I'm not even sorry. So I'm going to be okay with it. Here's what's funny. I always used to order this. So it's an almond milk latte, and I always ordered it with a 1/4 sweet caramel. And so I have been getting it with no sweetener, and I actually like it more without the sweetness in it now. So I've grown. I've taken out some sugar that was totally unnecessary. So I'll call that a win.
Are you noticing any changes?
Nothing. That's actually why I haven't been too worried about it, because I did have, let's see, week 1, I think I had like 1 or 2 cups of coffee. Didn't notice a thing. Week 2, I had 3. Last week I had 4. And then now I'm at 4 this week. And I have had 0 effect from it. And I think not having the sugar in it is what's really also helped me not have a lull after it. Because see, I was kind of feeling that lull after coffee before, and not with the matcha, but I had sweetener in my coffee too. So I think if I'm just on black, straight coffee, or coffee with some macadamia milk or almond milk or whatever, I think it'll be just fine. But I never noticed things before with coffee either, because and we talk a lot about Sue. Sue is coffee lover too, and is feeling the effects of her coffee, bringing it back in. Wah wah.
I know.
That face
so
emoji.
Sad.
So you are feeling the effects of having coffee, Sue?
Yeah, I'm starting to feel that the kind of reflex or heartburnish type feelings. So yeah. So, but I also feel that maybe I get it first thing in the morning, so I need to maybe eat something before I drink a coffee.
And so really that's kind of how this is all going to go. So let's talk about introducing foods. So Autumn goes through, and obviously you've taken out gluten, dairy, corn, highly processed soy, artificial sweeteners. Did I miss one? Is that it?
You say gluten?
Yes, I think so. Or if I didn't, I should.
Dairy.
So the artificial sweeteners should just be out of your life forever. They don't need to come back, because especially if you're a portion fixed person or anything, they don't need to exist in our life. So they can stay out. But how she'd like you to introduce things back in is gluten first. You're going to have 1 thing of gluten, 1 serving, right? 1 yellow of gluten at a meal, and once a day for 3 days. And you're going to note any differences, right? If you have any extra gas, if you have indigestion, if you have headache, if you have brain fog, any of those indications that it could be some kind of sensitivity. So you're only introducing one thing for one meal, right? You're not doing it every meal or, multiple times, and it's only one thing. And you want to keep it as clean as possible, I guess you could say, right? Like add in a whole wheat pasta. Don't just go and do like pizza dough, right? So add in something that's nutritious still. See how you feel on it, see how it goes. And if you have no effects, right? Nothing's changed, you still feel great, everything's good, then you can add in the second one, which would be dairy, then corn, then highly processed soy. So that's kind of how she has you entering back in. Now, let's say you have some gluten or you have some dairy, and you have some gas going on, you have some kind of indigestion, it's not working well, right? You will then stop, revert back to none of those things for 3 days, right? So no more dairy for 3 days. And then you could introduce something else. Like then you could try the highly processed soy or the, what am I missing? Corn. Then you could try corn. So you want to make sure that you're really clear on your introduction so that it's obvious if there's an issue and what the food is that you brought in. That's the issue. So she was really clear on like, don't go out and have a pizza, because obviously that's got gluten and dairy, and it's got it's going to have processed meat on it probably. So, there's a lot of things in it that could then cause issue. That could then cause issue. So, you just have to really make a very pointed effort toward it to make sure that you're pinpointing what it is. So any questions about introduction?
What did she say about like alcohol? How would you reintroduce that?
So basically alcohol and a treat. So this kind of it depends on what you're doing, right? So if you're just reintroducing to find out in this 2 weeks, so you're still on the gut protocol, but you're reintroducing, what the question would be is, what are you doing after that 2 weeks? Are you going to go to portion fix? Then you'll have your 3 treat swaps a week, right? Like normal, 3 alcohol or 3 treats. If you're going to stay on a maintenance plan with gut protocol, which is what I'm going to do, you stay on the gut protocol plan, and then you get 2 swaps. So you could have an alcohol and a treat. You could have 2 alcohol, but you're taking that yellow B and you're swapping it in the week. So you get 2 swaps if you're staying on maintenance with gut protocol. Now, obviously, if you go to be mindset, just keep it in moderation. There really isn't a number for that one. So you're going to with the plan. And so maintenance on gut protocol is going to be Timber. That's enough. That's going to be, just 2. And your sugars are going to be able to jump up to 15 grams. So I'm going to bring back my Recover because I have missed it. And so you can bring back, a product like that, or you can have something, in a treat or something like that. Okay. She went in the house.
Try to get it out of her system.
Now the neighbor's dog's like, no. So does that make sense? So it's like you're still on the plan, right? Like, and through this 2 weeks, you should still stay on your gut protocol plan. You'll just introduce slowly. And I would say the same thing with the alcohol. Like you probably want to introduce 1 and see how it is. And that's a yellow B.
Got it.
And then after that 2 weeks of reintroduction time, then you can see, okay, am I going portion fix where I want these different food options, or am I staying maintenance for gut protocol? Oh, good. Timber's back out again.
Well, and I mean, I know beer is not, that is one thing that like there are some gluten-free beer, but the majority of beer is not So that in mind, I mean, she didn't say that, but if
You're
you're,
cutting in and out.
Yeah, Bev, you're cutting in and out when you talk, so I'm not sure, you kind of, you hear the word beer, but then we didn't hear like what else you said about it.
I don't know, can you hear me now?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, then I guess it was just where my phone was. So beer is not gluten-free. There are some that are considered gluten-free, but the majority of them are not gluten-free. They're not classified as gluten-free. She doesn't mention that, but if you're not wanting to put gluten back in your diet, that's like, I don't know. In my opinion, I wouldn't go with beer as the first go-to to determine whether or not alcohol is your jam or not.
Because you're introducing two things there. Yeah,
Right.
for sure,
Right.
for sure. And she does talk about one of the videos I watched today. I couldn't name which one it was right now specifically, but she talks about when you're introducing alcohol or putting alcohol back in, that it's a wine pour or a hard alcohol pour. So it's 1 ounce of hard alcohol, it's 5 ounces of wine. And so you have to kind of weigh what you're doing too, because if you're going back to also a hard seltzer that is going to have artificial sweeteners in it, then you also have to consider that, because that can cause digestive issues. It can cause headaches. So it's one of those things where if you don't have to, I wouldn't introduce it.
Yeah. Yeah, because seltzers are always fun, but they are. I have Trulies in my refrigerator, and literally they are so sweet to me.
Yeah,
I can't. I take a bubbly, and I split. I do half bubbly, half Truly. It's that intense to me, because I'm like, this is, oh my gosh. I mean, it has the stevia and it has sugar, and I'm like, why?
Yeah, I'll do like the Spindrift with hard alcohol. So do a little vodka or some kind of rum, and then you do it with a Spindrift flavor. And then you kind of, you can cut it a little more if you want, or
Yeah. Yeah. But
okay. So what's everybody thinking? Like, what's your plan after you Sue, you're kind of in week 5 right now, right?
Have you introduced
Yeah.
coffee, Ben?
I'm
what'd you say?
sorry.
What did you introduce besides coffee?
The only other thing that I've really added back into what I eat is I started eating chicken. So really it's just, I started eating some meat. I haven't really reintroduced anything else.
And we should know, you kind of ate similar. I mean, you pretty much ate similar to this. before
Correct.
Starting the protocol. So it's not like you took out all these pasta meals you were doing, or you were also eating vegan most of the time, or pescatarian. So
Correct.
we're definitely, this was more similar to your regular meal plan.
Yeah. So that's probably
that's-
why I haven't added anything, because it's kind of really the way I've been eating anyway. Like I don't eat a lot of pasta. I don't eat, stuff like that normally.
Right. What about you, Lily? What are you thinking you're going to do?
Well, I miss my coffee, so I haven't had coffee or alcohol in 33 days.
We're on a count, right?
Oh yeah.
How many hours?
Yeah,
10
minutes.
hours and 2 minutes, and I'm not sure I'm gonna make it to tomorrow. But
This is for sure the longest time that I've ever gone without coffee and alcohol. So obviously alcohol when I was pregnant, but I did have coffee and decaf when I was pregnant. So, but yeah, alcohol, cheese. I miss cheese. I don't eat a ton of gluten anyways. Occasionally here and there. So I'm curious to see how my body reacts when I add it in.
yeah.
But so I don't know. We'll see.
So that's another thing she talked about too that I should mention. So like I'm planning on just staying on the same, I'm planning on going into maintenance, right? So I'm going to just stay on the gut protocol plan And I wasn't really planning on introducing. She does talk about it though, that you really should at some point introduce. So I will do my introductions after the second group. So I'm just gonna kind of stay on. I'm gonna add, I am gonna have a treat swap of alcohol at some point, during the week. I don't know if I'll add in a dessert. I haven't really missed that piece, but maybe I'll just swap into two cocktails. I don't know. Somewhere in there. But yeah, but at some point after you have done the gut protocol, you should introduce so that if you have something happening. But if you want to go into maintenance for a while, then that's also totally fine, and then introduce. You definitely want to know going into other things where you're at.
Yes, for sure. I'm curious about cheese because
Yeah.
if it makes me snotty or not, which is usually my reaction to it, to dairy.
Very common to have way more mucus buildup when you're on dairy. Like when Jack used to get sick all the time, I would restrict his dairy while he was sick so that hopefully it didn't increase his mucusness.
Yeah, I'll be curious to see if that happens because that's happened to me in the past as well. So
Yeah.
We'll see. But yeah, I miss my goat cheese.
Yeah. Goat cheese is really good.
So yeah, I don't know. I think that's pretty much all I'm really missing.
So are you gonna stay in a maintenance, or are you gonna go portion fix, or are you gonna go freestyle? We'll call it freestyle. If you're gonna just go off what you normally ate before.
Well, I can tell you I'm going to Nashville in 2 weeks, so that weekend might be a free for all, freestyle. I will probably continue. I will probably move to portion fix with gut protocol in mind. Again, I don't need a ton of gluten, like heavy pasta. I mean, I actually prefer the red lentil pasta to regular pasta because I know how regular pasta makes me feel personally. I do like the occasional burrito, and I haven't found a good burrito substitute. I like those egg wraps, but they're not for everything. Like I like having an occasional burrito. I need to find some lentil wraps or something is what I need to find.
I made them. Just make them and freeze them.
Yes, I need to make them.
They don't really take that long. But there was
Okay.
an almond flour wrap today at Costco, and I didn't look at the package. I just happened to notice it. So that would probably be a blue. So that might be an option. I don't know how well it will, wrap.
Well, this was before, but I didn't seem to react to regular tortilla.
Yeah.
Like it didn't have any adverse effects in the past, but I don't know. I'm curious. Again, that's one of the things that I would add in would be a some type of wrap, burrito wrap.
Right.
Something,
Yeah.
to see how I reacted to it. But like toast, I don't really eat a ton of bread and
Yeah.
heavy pasta. Hamburger bun, I usually skip anyways. I'd rather have lettuce. So I don't know. Again, I haven't quite figured out how, but I would like to be less restrictive. I have lost 5 pounds, and I know it's only because I've been very restrictive with my diet.
And you could bump up because you've also been doing 2 to 3 workouts. So you should probably be in C.
Yes, probably.
Is it you're not in a bracket that fits your workout plan right now?
Well, I'm not, but I don't do, like on Saturday, I did 1 workout. I didn't do 2.
Yeah, but you're doing 2 to 3, 5 days a week.
I usually bump up my veggies anyways, and sometimes my protein anyways. So I eat all the time in B, sometimes in C. So just depending on how many workouts I do.
I'm just saying, pick the bigger one, you'll be fine.
I think she's lecturing
your
you.
macros will be balanced and your body will be happy.
I'm not trying to lose weight. I just know
That's my
that
point. That's my
I-
point. Like I'm eating in C and I'm down like 1.5 pounds. and I mean, I'm not trying to, like, I'm just eating on the plan. But you are going to have some with this plan just because of the nature of the food you're eating and that you've, taken some inflammation out, and the way the workouts are, you would have less inflammation too. You won't have that spike in water retention like you would with regular workouts. So, there's just a lot of that with it.
Yeah, I actually am enjoying the workouts more than I thought I would.
Yeah, they're good. I'm going to do them again.
Yeah, I thought for sure, I was like, oh, I'm going to be bored. This is no impact. That's, not my jam, but I am definitely enjoying them more than I thought. So.
Yeah. I mean, Autumn is in shape and does hard things. She's not going to give you a program that's, not that way.
Yeah.
I saw someone in one of the groups the other day post about how, like, well, I'm pretty in shape. And so, I mean, is this just going to be too easy? And I'm like, have you done an autumn workout?
No, now 6:45, I could say the first 2 weeks were too easy for me, but not.
You need to
the
go
4 weeks
heavier
that
though. You know what I mean?
I went super heavy. No, for me, it was too many breaks.
Too many breaks, I can understand, but easy
Yeah.
is how easy you and hard
It's
you
not,
make.
but it's not, the 4 weeks for everybody is not easy. Like the cardio workouts are not easy.
Yeah, and there's no breaks. You're
Yeah. And just
takes a lot in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So workouts, let's talk about that really quick too. So her recommendation is the first time you go through the program that you do 4 weeks for everybody, because you are lessening your inflammation from these workouts because they're no impact. So after that, then, and it makes it more clear, like if you have something else happening, right? Or if you have weight gain from inflammation or things happening, if you're doing the no impact. So after that first round, then you're really open to doing what you want to do. And I think you'll just have to kind of note how you're feeling with another program. If it's, if you do find maybe joint pain comes back, or if you find that you're retaining water, or you're feeling more inflamed muscle, joint soreness, that kind of stuff from another program. But the meal plan is such that you can go do other workouts with it. It's all macro based still. It's a 40-30-30 like everything else. So you can, you don't have to stay on the 4 weeks for everybody while you're still on gut protocol after that first round. So that is wide open too.
I know I didn't follow that. I didn't follow the workout part of it because I knew I wouldn't. For me, it wasn't for me. So, but I know it's important part for other people that might not know their body as well as I do, I guess.
So any like questions with like what happens now? I think I've covered all the things she talked about. I mean, basically she's pretty strong in several of the videos. So like if in the group, she put in extra videos that supplement also to the videos she put into the plan, right? So there's the program videos, and then in our bod groups, she is putting in videos also that are her like just chatting with you, additional videos. And so she went through really that whole maintenance thing today, that it's not just a free for all when you're done, that you really need to keep eating good foods. And if you're going into maintenance, there really isn't much difference other than you get that 5 grams of sugar more. So you can add in your recover. Oh, that was the other thing. Recharge. It's a whey protein. It is not gut protocol approved. So you would definitely want to go through and figure out if you have a sensitivity to dairy. So that would also equate to whey protein. Before you introduced that back in, if you're going to introduce it back in at some point. And I don't know the sugar content of Recharge. I would guess it's probably around the same as Recover. It might be a little less. I'll have to look and see. Joe, do you have one? Okay, Bev's gonna go look. So, because that, I don't know if you could actually get them all in if you found out you weren't sensitive, but technically, if you're on the maintenance, then you're not doing recharge because it's not part of, it's not approved.
Well, and I think with only 15 grams, I don't think you have enough grams after you use Recover though.
It would have to be 2
Uh,
to 3. Yeah, because you're at like 12 or 13, I think, with Energize, Shakeology, and Recover.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it would have to be pretty low. I can't remember what it is. It doesn't seem to me as sweet.
It's 4 grams.
Oh, okay, so you're close.
Yeah, it's 4 grams. So
You can go a little light on. So if you if you discovered that whey is not a problem, you go a little light on your Recover and
You can do like half and half.
right, yeah. I like the recharge at night some nights because I feel like I sleep better. So yeah, so I think I've covered everything she talked about in there. It's just everybody's now like you're kind of a detective, right? So everything you eat that is different than you've been eating, it's good to write it down. It's good to track what you've had that's new as an introduction so that you're taking note of, where you're not feeling your best. All right, and then we'll switch gears. So I have one question from my group. And it was actually what we talked about this morning on the Zoom call. Beth wanted to know why we can only have kombucha 3 times a week. So we had a big discussion about that this morning. But so kombucha is not nutritionally, what am I looking for here? Dense. It's a treat. And so that's why it does still have a lot of sugar, even though the sugars aren't added. And some of the sugars are, transformed in the fermentation process, but it's still a treat. So that's why it's the 3 times a week versus having, like you could have it every night as a yellow bee. And if you're going back to portion fix, it's the same rule. You just get to you are allowed an entire yellow, which is 12 ounces, 3 times a week. Gut protocol, she's keeping your sugar stuff low in general. So that's a half like a 6 ounce. It's a half a yellow bee 3 times a week. So it's, it's, if you want to really keep something in fermented every day, go to that free food list. Those are the things you could have all the time, right? You could have a coconut yogurt every day. You could have sauerkraut every day, miso. Those kinds of things can remain in there. The kombucha is just it's sweet and it just doesn't carry a lot of bang for the buck as far as nutrition is concerned.
Except that it keeps me satisfied.
Yeah, it is nice, right? Because I have enjoyed it in the evenings too, a few times where I'm like, oh, this is nice. It feels like I'm having a cocktail.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It has saved me the 33 days.
Totally. Yeah. And that's where I think, when you're introducing back into, it'll be nice where you can do both these things because you can still have a kombucha one night, have a cocktail one night, and then you know what I mean? It feels like you're having them both nights. Maybe a little less, stumbling on your words. I don't know. I'm just kidding. There's actually a hard kombucha here that I love. One of our grocery stores carries it. It's like a coconut lime hard kombucha. It's so
Sounds good.
Yeah, it's so good. So refreshing.
So are you getting all the same benefits of the kombucha? It's just spiked?
Well, I'll have to look because the one I've been having, the Synergy, is raw. And I don't think the hard kombucha carries the same. I wonder if the alcohol kills off some of the live aspects. You know what I mean? Like if the probiotics that are added or things like that. I'd have to look on their packaging to see what they say about it. I'll look and see.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Curious about
It's not
that.
like it talks about probiotics in the same way, you know what I mean, on the hard kombuchas. So I don't know.
Probably because you're not drinking it for that.
Right. Yeah, it just tastes really good.
I've actually never had a hard one, so I don't even.
Well, they're out of Hood River. It's called Kyla, Kyla. So you can probably get it in your stores up there.
I think what was the other brand you were drinking?
Oh, of hard or regular?
No, regular.
Hum and Synergy.
I thought they both had alcoholic versions of it too, though.
I have not seen a Synergy that's alcohol, but I don't know. And I don't know if Hum does either. I don't know.
I know I saw one at the health food store, but
Synergy does have an alcoholic one.
Okay.
I've seen it in person, but when I was looking at the website about the kiwi situation, that it did come up. And I was like, what is it? Because I at first looked at that and I'm like, what? Why do I have to be 21 to look at this website?
Right?
And then I'm like, oh, gotcha. But I've never seen it in my stores, but I don't usually go over into the alcohol section to try to find that, you
Right.
know,
Right. Yeah.
I might be missing it. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Oh, they do have a hard kombucha. It's, looks like sangria and like a
Ooh.
mimosa one.
So does it say anything about the probiotics or like what the, is there still like a benefit from the
me
hard, I
see.
wonder?
Not let me look up any info. Let me see
it
if I
says
can.
raw sparkling tea, gluten-free, gut healing, active cultures.
I don't see anything about the hard one.
Because I just wonder if the alcohol would kill off some of those things. It might not be enough, like I'm sure there's a happy medium, right? Where it's enough, like, because kombucha has some alcohol to it. That's the fermentation.
Yeah.
But, once you hit, because the one I was getting, I think is 7%. And that's decent.
7%.
Yeah.
Ooh, raspberry dragon fruit. All these interesting.
All the
flavors.
shopping we can do when we're reintroducing, it sounds like.
Blueberry ginger.
I love it.
Oh boy.
Let's see.
We've gone down the rabbit hole.
Yes,
I never knew there
yeah.
was a hard kombucha. Pretty cool.
I find them very refreshing. I find seltzers also way too sweet. And to me, they just kind of taste fake. Like, the fruit flavor in them generally is just kind of not right. So we have them a lot here. I mean, Oregon, they like to combine any kind of health thing toward alcohol. So I had a few options, and there's probably 4 or 5 different brands in our store, and I've tried a lot of them just to kind of see what they are, and they're not as sweet, and they're really flavorful still, and they're just really refreshing. They're still kind of have that bubbly, and they're good.
Now I think KOE.
Oh, June Shine is the other one that's really good. June Shine. I think that's a hard kombucha too. And that's not here. I don't know where they're made. So, okay, well, we've got 20 minutes left. I don't know, does anybody want to talk about anything in general about gut protocol and how things are going? Or Rochelle, do you have questions? I don't want to get too deep into like your first week.
I know. I've gotten as far as printing off recipes and finding what bracket I'm in and
Good.
trying to figure out how to, because I've been doing what's it called? I just lost my train of thought. Fasting. There you go.
Intermittent fasting.
Intermittent fasting. So I'm trying to see if I want to still do intermittent fasting or break it up and have snacks during the day.
What window were you in were you a 16-8 window, or were you 12-12 or?
Yeah, like 16-8, kind of just fluctuates every day.
Yeah. She doesn't technically have intermittent fasting with gut protocol.
Mhm.
And you'll have to just see how the meal sizes fit in because you are going to have a few more containers. And what did you end up in for maintenance?
I think I'm in bracket B.
Okay. And was that where you're going to go, or were you going to do weight loss?
I don't know. I don't know if like,
I'll give you my very strong opinion about it.
I'm afraid that I would just be hungry because
Yeah, I'd go
so used to-
maintenance for sure.
I'm so used to eating a lot of food, and
Yeah.
I don't think I could survive on mini snacks a day.
Yeah. I mean, you were at a place where if you did still want to lose some weight, it's not very much.
Mhm.
And you will naturally take off some being in maintenance still.
Okay.
So I would stay in maintenance for sure. And, I don't remember if we were talking about this on this call or something else, but I really find if you like, for me personally, how I feel about food, if I know I'm going to have plenty of food, I am very good at following the plan. I measure it, I track it, I do it,
Mhm.
right? I follow it. But if I feel like I'm not going to have enough food, then I'm like, oh, I might just add a little here, or I'll have
Yeah.
a little taste while I'm doing this. But if I'm on, you know what I mean? So I always tend to go with the plan that's going to have a decent amount of food. Because I'd rather track it and do it than feel like I'm cheating on it or cheating myself on it or kind of following it. And so you really have to figure out how you are with things, right? Because
Right.
that's not everybody, right? I mean, that's like, this is my own food issues. I somehow along the line in my lifetime, I have this food scarcity thing, and I'm not sure why. But you know what I mean? So you have to figure out where you're at with it. But this is a plan where you should not be afraid to be in maintenance, because you're still going to end up, and I mean, I'm a bracket above maintenance, and I'm still like hungry, and I'm still like I'm not hungry like in a way where I'm not getting enough, but I'm like,
You have those
ready
pains
for the
every
next
now
meal.
and then.
Yeah, I'm ready for the next meal. I'm getting my containers in, and I'm feeling, but I'm also still staying on track with it.
Got it.
So that's where I'd go with it.
I agree. But that's where I'm at. I have some of the recipes, planned out. I just I want to get like a game plan for making meals ahead of time, so I have them ready to go, because I will look in this pantry for something to grab just to, make it another hour until lunchtime. So
yeah, I had a few days this week where I did not have enough prepped, and I'm just like, oh, I'm like, everything on the counter is looking really good right now, which is all the stuff I'm not eating.
yes.
So I'm like, I need to just make a few things, make sure I've got it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And next week, we're going to talk a ton about that in our groups, right? Because everyone's going to be starting, everyone's going to be learning the program. So next week, the expectation is not that you're like fully ready to start.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like practice week. So and we'll also have meal prep on Sunday, and we've got a sheet pan hash, a vegan Buddha bowl, and chicken cacciatore. So those are all going to be things that we can mix and match a bit, and should fit into plans really well. And so it'll be a good practice run, right? We'll have these 3 meals that we can see how we do for a few days. Like, did I get containers in? Do I need to figure out how to fit, a blue in? Or do I need to figure out, like, I was having a hard time figuring out my yellow B other than kombucha, right? And I'm like, well, I can't have kombucha every day. So now I can figure it out. So I made a sheet pan of Yukon potatoes and just roasted them, and now they're just in a baggie, and I pulled out some for lunch today, just have them ready. And then that way, they're there, because if they're not ready in time and I'm hungry, and they're not going to make it up to date.
Exactly.
And something like potatoes, whether it's sweet potatoes or the Yukon, you can have those for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. So that makes it really easy.
Yeah.
So, and then the other thing, keep in mind, is she suggests no raw vegetables next week. So while you're planning, Yeah, so while you're planning, plan for your
Well, that's your
vegetables to
first
be
week.
cooked.
Yeah,
The
the,
Yeah,
first
your-
week,
the next week is prep week still.
Oh, the next week's
First
prep. I'm
week.
sorry.
Yeah.
I'm jumping the gun.
That's all right. That's
Well,
all right.
regardless, it's something to think about.
Yeah.
So,
And
Yeah.
I think we are cooking everything except there's sprouts in the vegan Buddha bowl, and there was one other thing that was not. Oh, cherry tomatoes were in there. So that one actually should be pretty good. Like if someone wanted to repeat it, or maybe leave those raw things out in that first week. Yeah. And you could also add more veggies to the sheet pan or change up how the sheet pan is, or, you know, I mean, I think these 3 will be really helpful for repeats.
What was the reason for taking out the raw veggies the first week? I
They're
don't think
harder
I
to digest.
listened to that video.
Yeah,
What
they're
was it?
harder to digest.
Okay.
So
gotcha.
it can cause more bloating right away and more indigestion. And just,
Mhm.
you know, some people maybe you're having 1 vegetable a day, right? And like on my plan, I have 7 cups.
Yeah.
So if you do a lot of raw and you haven't been used to raw, you're going to feel it for sure.
Mhm.
And especially without a lot of people still don't have the enzymes yet. So especially without those to help break things down, it's even harder. Yeah.
I would say make a whole bunch of vegetables ahead of time, like
Yeah.
just big vegetables, because you can throw them in with eggs in the morning, or if you're not taking eggs out, you can, it's just so much easier to make meals if you already have the vegetables already made, and
Mhm.
then it becomes easy and quick to make the meals. But if you don't have them already prepped and made, then you kind of, if like I was like, oh my gosh, what do I eat now? Like standing there staring, and like Deanna said, that the already cooked crappy food is sitting right there staring at you.
Yeah.
So to set yourself up for success, I would cook a lot of vegetables ahead of time.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about it more too as we go through this, but I found like each time I'm running out of something, I just make it too. Like, so if I ate the last of the oatmeal, then while I'm eating it, I start another one,
Yeah.
or just so you're keeping the flow of things. So I didn't make meal prep like a 1 day explode the kitchen, do it all. I'm just kind of, as I'm running out of things or going through it, or my child eats all my turkey sausage for breakfast, and I'm making more, right? And you just
Mhm.
kind of keep filling up those things. So there's always something available. That's definitely like, this is probably the most I've prepped. Because I feel like even with Reset, I didn't prep ahead. I just made it each day. So, but this is probably the most I've like constantly had something in the refrigerator to go to and prep, and I don't know.
But I remember when you were doing the Reset, though, you said like you constantly felt like you were making food.
Cooked all the time. Like I literally
And
finish eating it and
dishes.
start cooking the next one.
Yes, and all the dishes. Do you remember all the
chopping,
dishes? Oh my
all the
God.
dishes.
Yeah. I did a lot of vegetables, like roasted vegetables, to make bowls, and then rice, because I traveled a lot over the past month. And so that was really easy for me to put my containerize it and put it in a to-go container and stick it in like a little cooler in my suitcase. And I traveled with it. So I did a lot of roasted vegetables.
Yeah, that's a great. Yeah, I did a lot of
Yeah.
bowls just like that. You're just
bowls.
fill the
Mhm.
container, put it in the bowl, either throw on an orange, or I really love just lemon and a little olive oil. If you have some herbs going in it, and then it's good to go.
Yeah.
I have a question back to reintroducing. If you're going to have a hard kombucha, though, they have sugar alcohol in them. How do you deal with that? And are you counting that part as part of your 15 grams then?
You're a yellow bee, because the sugar alcohol, most of the time you're not going to know on the label if it's added sugar. So you're going to have to pick something initially, I would say, that's not sweetened. Right. So you're going to, if you initially, let's say we took a Spindrift and an ounce of vodka and you introduce it, then you're you're not having to worry about any sugar piece. And because I don't think they have to even tell you how much sugar is in it on the label. So you
Some
won't
of them,
really
some
know.
of them do.
Yeah.
I've just been looking at some of these and some of them, like the June Shine doesn't give you a label. I'm sure on Amazon at least. I'm sure if you go, oh no, there it is. There is a label.
Okay. What's the added sugar in that one?
Let's see, total carbs. Yeah, see, this one just says 3 grams, but it's cane sugar, so.
So then you would count the 3 grams and you'd be a yellow B treat swap.
That's a low one. Most of them are like 15,
Yeah.
12 to 15 of added.
Yeah, June Shine's pretty good. I've had a lot of those.
Not the one you said was in Oregon, because it says.
No, I don't think June Shine is in Oregon. I think it's somewhere else. Kyla is the one that's in Hood River.
Oh, gotcha, okay.
Yeah. And if Kyla's listening to this, she should get some.
Well, I can get it in
Listen to
hours.
this tomorrow.
Yeah, so that's why I was curious about how you deal with the sugar
think-
alcohol. 'Cause some
Yeah,
of them
technically, yeah, you don't want it to be too sugary, right? Because if you shouldn't pick something that's like crazy amount of sugar, because then it's just not even on plan.
Yeah,
So it's like if you can see what the sugar is and it's low and you can fit that into your grams and you do a yellow B, or you just pick an alcohol that doesn't have sugar and yellow B. And it needs to be roughly an equivalent to 1 ounce of hard alcohol. Which I don't know how you'd do that conversion either. I don't know if that would be a full
is it
kombucha.
in terms of carbs?
Well, 1 ounce is, I mean, I think 1 ounce is roughly 60 to 100 calories, somewhere in there. I can't remember exactly which one. But it's about digesting that alcohol too.
So it's not just a 1 for 1,
I don't believe so.
really?
Yeah. I think it's more about, because it's alcohol, like a lot of times personal trainers will consider it a 7 gram. So like, you know how protein's 4 calories per gram and fat is 9 calories per gram. They'll consider alcohol 7 calories per gram, but it's also kind of fluid because it's not a macro, right? It's not something our body gets. And so it's not clear how many calories it really is, because your body's just got to get through it and it's just trying to get through it and get it out. So.
Yeah, most of these don't have the,
Yeah, I wouldn't put the sugar.
I
in
think
one.
like the
No
Kyla,
women would drink those.
yeah, the
Anyone
Kyla,
paying attention to sugar would be like, no thanks. Especially if it was on the ciders. Those things are crazy sweet.
oh yeah, those are horrible. The Kyla doesn't, so it has 100 calories per can.
Oh,
One
okay. So that would be close to an ounce of, I mean, it's in that 60 to 100 range. So that would be close to an ounce of alcohol.
This is on the front of the package. I can't see the back of the package because they're not including that information. But the front of the package says 100 calories per can, gluten-free, live cultures, and then the different varieties have anywhere from 2 sugars and carbs or 1 sugar and carb.
Oh, that's pretty good. Yeah. I mean, they're not super sweet, which is probably why I like them so much. The coconut lime is delicious.
I haven't found that one. This one is berry ginger, pink grapefruit, hibiscus lime, and ginger.
Oh, I've had the hibiscus lime too. That one's good too.
All right. I'm just,
Yeah. So I think, you like everything else that we learned in this program, right? We're just reading labels like crazy and making your best choices. And so, anytime you can keep the artificial sugar out and still have something you're going to enjoy, then I think you're winning on that, and keep the sugars down.
Okay, I have a question.
Yeah.
So what am I doing with this?
Nothing. That's a freebie. Oh,
No,
what do
I
you
know, but
you wanna know
how
to
do I
cook
make it? Yeah,
Okay,
what
so
do
I
I do
haven't
with
done, I was
it?
gonna do mine today and that's when I ran out of time.
Oh.
So it sounds like you really need to rinse it.
Yeah.
On the
Yes,
package, it says rinse for a minute. Mariana said she did not rinse it that long.
No, you want to rinse.
Is it?
Want
You
to
want to
rinse.
rinse? Okay.
Rinse.
And then
And then
you're
what?
basically, it's the miracle noodles. Sorry, Bev.
Oh, okay.
And so
Okay.
you basically, you're gonna like saute your garlic, your a little bit of oil, whatever you're like, this is the autumn recipe, right? Whatever you want to like kind of flavor it with, you're gonna
Mhm.
already have cooked your vegetables. So you could do all those things together, set them aside, little bit of oil, you're gonna put those noodles in, warm them up, then you're gonna throw everything back in, coconut aminos, just kind of keep tossing it. And it's gonna be like an Asian stir fry, basically. So that's one of the
Okay.
ways to do it. I don't know that
Yeah.
they work great like on a sauce, like a tomato sauce or a red pepper sauce. I think they're more like I do it more Asian style where you're just doing some chili oil or something like that. And
Hmm.
you can
You
add
can
it.
do any kind of sauce you want. Pesto
Okay.
sauce, tomato sauce. I
It
just
doesn't get gummy. It's still okay with those.
no, I just use them as just like pasta.
So did you see
Okay.
those are soy, the ones you have?
Yeah, so these are different.
Yeah, because I couldn't get
Oh.
those because that's what they have in my store everywhere.
I can't find the miracle noodles in
These,
my
so
store.
Okay, so
to
these
the
are
pasta
Amazon.
aisle. Yeah, go to the pasta aisle and they're
Mhm.
down, like mine were way on the bottom shelf in a box and they're not refrigerated. They're
Really?
room
Oh, that's why I
temperature.
couldn't find them. I didn't see
That's
them.
yep. It took me forever and I finally found them and that's where they were. They're definitely low or high, probably, right? They're not gonna be super
Mhm.
popular. And then
No.
they're room temperature.
So
Gotcha.
these were from Amazon, and I got 2 angel hair style, 2 fettuccine style, and wait for it, 2 rice style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
I don't know about those ones. These ones you have to rinse a lot.
okay.
So
Okay.
I don't know about
And
those.
those are soy, just in case
Yes.
anybody watching this, the ones that say tofu, they are soy based,
Okay.
where the other ones are it's like Kobuju,
Yes.
Kobaju.
KO.
It's a root.
Yes,
It's
it's
a-
a root.
Yeah.
Yes.
You probably still would probably want to wash them though. So
Yeah,
like
I'll
these
wash
ones,
them.
these ones smell like mushrooms or something if you don't wash them off. They have like
Huh.
a smell to them if you don't
Well,
wash
they
them.
have shiratakis in them, right? Isn't
Yeah.
shirataki one of the ingredients? It's-
No,
Oh, okay.
no, this has water, soybeans, konjac flour, calcium hydroxide, glucone delta lactone, and calcium sulfate.
Okay, so the konjac, that's similar then to what's in the miracle noodles, I think.
Okay.
Mhm. So the miracle noodles is literally just water, konjac flour, and citric acid.
Yeah, so that's a root. And there's also a shirataki noodle that's very similar. It's
Yeah, the ones
no
that I
count.
normally get, not these ones. The ones that I
Mhm.
normally get are just the shirataki noodles. That's it.
Okay.
Not that, but I couldn't find those for some reason. But these are 20 calories, 1 gram of fat, 30 sodium, 6 carbs, 4 fibers, and 2 protein for the whole thing.
Yeah,
So, yeah, I want to try to find the miracle noodles, but this is the closest I could get. So,
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna try them tomorrow and see what I think.
I am too. They've been sitting on my counter. I'm just like, I need to come and
Mine
try them
too.
out.
I like
Yeah.
that you don't have to refrigerate them.
Yeah,
Yes.
they
can
are.
go in
So
my-
they are a little spendy. Mine were $4.99, and I think yours were roughly $3.99, Sue, by the time you got a 6-pack.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So I think it was like $23. So
and
yeah.
it's one serving.
It is the whole
Yeah.
bag.
Yeah, it's a lot of water in there.
Yeah. Wow.
They're filling though. The noodles are filling.
Well, I will assume that they take on the flavor of what you're mixing it with, right?
Yeah, that's the whole goal,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
and you'll want to add some aminos, you'll want to add, some garlic and whatever kind of things you like in there. And
Right.
you know,
Okay.
if you wanted to make like I've seen lately a lot of vegan red pepper sauces, that kind of stuff would be good.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
Okay. All right. And I would, Instagram. has-
Deanna and I are gonna make them tomorrow. We'll see what we think.
You could use the kind of sauce that you gave me in my stocking.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
You could use that. The one that Autumn sprinkled on her bread that she made.
Okay.
Whatever
Right.
that- I can't remember the name of it.
Oh yeah. FYI too. I was in Costco today and they have coconut aminos. They have 4 grams of added sugar. So that brands out.
Yep.
Yeah. And somebody was saying the one from Trader Joe's has 3 or 4 as well.
It
Oh,
does.
I was just in there too. I didn't look at that one.
Yeah,
I think most of us have Coconut Secret. So
Yeah.
that's one that
And
does.
that's 0.
I perused Amazon and there's only literally like 4 brands that I could find that had 0 sugar in them.
Okay.
And Coconut Secret was one of them.
Yeah.
It's actually harder to find than you would think.
I wonder if it would be helpful to create like an Amazon link that everyone
Well, we
buys.
talked about that, like creating like almost like a brand
Because
thing.
all this stuff, I can't even find matcha in any of the stores near me.
Yeah.
Like we have Winn-Dixie.
Amazon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did
Or
you?
Costco. Do you have Costco? Do you have a Costco?
Costco is like 45 minutes away from me.
Because Costco has their green matcha that they
I would think though, like your Kroger's or your Safeways, they don't even have like little powders or anything.
I had to go to, it's called Publix. It's like a fancy
Yeah.
high-end store. I try to stay away from it because gets expensive.
Right.
But I went in there and found like a single serve of the matcha just to try because I was really curious because I started liking them after a couple tries. So
Yeah.
wanted to make my own.
Did you look into your Dunkin' Donuts? Because I'm pretty sure that had a lot of sugar in it.
You know,
I got the smalls. I just wanted to taste them, but I could definitely tell a difference of
Yeah.
Dunkin' versus making it at home.
Because
So
they pre-do their mix, right? Same with Starbucks. And so then they add sugar to the mix. And then you
I
just
was really surprised because the matcha wasn't really mixed that well in it. So
Oh,
I don't
okay.
know.
Well, maybe they're doing powder at that one. You could
They
ask
might be.
them. They'd be
they're
able.
not. I already looked
They're
into
not?
both of them. Yeah, I already looked into both of them because one of my customers was like, "Oh my gosh, I just got a matcha at Dunkin' Donuts." I was like, "Hold on, stop." If it's anything like Starbucks, which it probably is, you do not want to drink that. And literally, I want to say the iced matcha was like 54 grams of added sugar in like the 16 ounces of iced matcha. It was horrible. So yeah. They pre-mix it ahead of time, and then the baristas just take a scoop of the mixture, which is the matcha and the sugar and whatever else.
Gotcha. No, I didn't look at the label, but I learned my lesson now. So
Well, that's what you'll find. It's funny because I remember the first weeks we're all like, I mean, I already read a lot of labels, but I'm like, this gets intense, right? Because you're like, okay, let's look and see what it's really got in it. Yeah.
You literally have to read every single label.
Everything.
Like everything, because sugar is in everything.
Yeah. And you got to read the ingredients and the nutrition label.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't just read the label. You got to actually read the ingredients because there's so many sugar alcohols hidden in things now.
And different names. Oh, there was something the other day that came up. One of my customers had something and it had maltodextrin in it. Well, there's a nutritionist I'm friends with here and she's in Washington, and she does these classes where people wear blood sugar monitors and they, test their blood sugar regularly and see what foods are working for them and all this kind of stuff. Well, maltodextrin is a way to sweeten something without sugar, essentially, but it spikes your blood sugar like you've had sugar. So it's like, even though it's, it's in there and it looks like it's going to be harmless, it's still sending the message to your body, even though it's not an added sugar. So it's not going to show up there. It's not a included sugar. It's just there, but it's still going to spike your blood sugar, which is,
That's why I need to make my own dang lentil burritos, right?
You do. Make your own lentil wraps. Look at it'll be so fun, Lily. You can hang out in the kitchen and make your little crepe out of your red lentils.
Yes.
Like
my
Betty
cauliflower
Crocker.
flour.
You'll be the Betty Crocker.
My cauliflower flour.
Yeah, there you go. You could try that.
I should.
Or you could do half red lentil, half cauliflower flour. I don't know. Test
There
it
you
out.
go. There you go. Yeah, but you're supposed to just use it as 1-to-1 like you would normal flour.
Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. I just haven't had a chance to get in there yet.
All right. Well, I suppose it's already past 6.
Where'd the soup go?
I got to go have some jicama shrimp tacos.
Ooh, there you go.
I have to make my husband dinner.
Oh, what are you making?
Well, same thing I had. So I had cauliflower rice with shrimp and a salad. What else did I have? Yeah, that was it. So I just have to make it for him as well.
Yeah. All right.
Yummy. Well, smile.
Okay, so yeah, are you gonna take a picture? What, you want to
Sure,
snap
you
one,
want it,
Lily?
you can, I don't care.
Mine always has like a weird glare. Why don't you do your
Alright.
computer one?
All right. 1, 2, 3. Okay.
So
Got it.
tomorrow I did just put for the coaches, I put the shopping list. I forgot again today, but I just put it in there before this call. So it's the shopping list for Sunday plus the recipes. Tomorrow I'll drop, or actually tonight I'll drop it in the groups for everybody else. So meal prep on Sunday. Tomorrow is florals. So where your flowers,
Oh,
your flowery colors, however
Flowery.
you want to, show your love of spring for Funky Friday. And if you haven't already seen, Top Gun is coming at the end of next month. So start on Amazon now, get your aviators, get your Top Gun t-shirt. I think it's like May 27th or something. So
Mhm.
be ready. Just be ready.
Your Top Gun suit.
Where Lily's going to be in a Top Gun suit. She'll represent for all of us on Jared's ride.
I'm going to be camping, so I'll be in my Top Gun suit.
You're not even going to be on Jared's ride that day?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm bringing my bike.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to be in the middle of the campground in my outfit.
That is awesome. If he doesn't,
Yes.
I'm writing to the podcast that morning to be like, put Lily on. She's going to be camping with her bike.
Are you really your your bike, like your bicycle?
Well,
No?
she's
No, I'm
she's
bringing my
trying to
bike.
figure out how to pack her bike in the RV.
Yeah. Yep.
I gotta
Oh
go, guys. Bye.
I told my husband he has a month to figure it out.
She's committed. This is serious. This is what happens when you get the bike. You
Yeah.
turn a little bit loony. Like I miss my what, Bev?
You're gonna have a trailer with the bike in it.
Someday, yes. When the kids quit coming with us, yes. We're gonna tow my gym around behind us.
You can make their bunk area your gym.
We've talked about that, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. We've also talked about making an office as well. I think the office might win out.
I think the workout room will get used more than the office. Yeah.
Yeah.
My
Like,
vote's for the workout room.
yeah. Well, if we did a trailer, you could trailer the little convertible that we'll have. So you could do
Right.
and then you could have your bike and your weights in there, with the car. So
Yeah.
then you could have it all.
Yeah.
So,
I just tell your kids they don't get to come anymore. They have to take care of themselves.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, Chase needs to start driving, and then he can drive him and his sister to school, and then we can just,
Yeah.
like parent, just leave.
Right. I like it. I like it a lot.
Oh.
Good night, ladies.
Good night.
Good
Yeah, we'll see you
night.
later. All right. I'm
Bye.
gonna put this down. We'll see you later, guys.
Bye.